Patty Fitzgerald is a child safety educator and a blogger, and she's here to help us understand why teenagers are susceptible to the sort of thing that happened to the 3 Cleveland girls who were kidnapped and held prisoner for more than 10 years.
Why does this happen? Robin is our mommy blogger. What do you call it?
MyFoxParents.com is our parenting blog. Okay. And actually, it was really interesting. Patty, who does safety speaking, just like I've done in terms of keeping your body safe stuff, sent me a note saying, do you want me to come on TV and talk about safety tips? And I had probably the same reaction, Steve, I know you would have definitely had, but a lot of people out there saying, oh, do we need the same old list again? Yeah. But Patty actually really was able to identify why teens and tweens
the
are
biology.
different.
It's
right.
not just the culture, it's the biology.
That's
okay.
right. The science of it
yes.
all, too. And not being a doctor, you know, I'm a mom and a teacher, but I have a teenage daughter, and I know that the prefrontal cortex of that brain isn't fully functioning until they're around 25. So they're making risky decisions, they're impulsive, and that's part of why they're more vulnerable than the younger kids.
The issue of judgment is not matured yet.
Yeah, well, I actually I've heard it this way,
yes.
actually, one time in a lecture where it was kids at that age, teenagers particularly, are at their highest level of risk-taking behavior at the same exact time at their lowest point of rational decision making, right. And those two things happen together, and voila,
perfectly
teenagers.
Ugly storm.
Right.
Yeah.
50 Shades of Ugly.
A little discouraging when I read that, because I imagine for parents, if you know this is something biological and scientific, how do you help them make the right decisions?
Well, the first is don't assume that your child knows all this already. We have this mistaken assumption that we've talked about stranger danger when they were 5, and so now we're good. They need to be reminded, especially now that they are independent, they are less supervised. So it's almost like you need to pump it up, kick it into high gear as a parent.
So what do you say to them? I mean, you know, obviously you're not saying don't get into a car with a stranger. Those words. What words do you say?
Right. Well, being a mom of a teenager, again, it's, you know, plain English. Listen, kiddo, you're out there in the world. Don't be tricked. Somebody tries to engage with you. Safety trumps politeness. Safety trumps politeness.
And when you get the eye roll as a reaction, what do you do?
Okay.
Keep
I
doing
laugh.
it.
I laugh because just because you get the eye roll, they're like, oh, I know that, I heard you. They're still listening.
Yeah.
They're still listening. They're supposed to roll their eyes and make you feel like an idiot.
You know, some of trying to understand teenage fads, which can be so dopey and so stupid, it's all part of the same picture.
Right.
That's not hurtful, but this other stuff can be very dangerous.
Exactly.
Well, and one of the other aspects is that 85 to 92% of sexual assault and abductions, particularly if we look at Cleveland, has to do with someone whom the victim knows.
Yes.
So that's the thing where it gets
It's
a little bit
yeah.
gets a little bit trickier. So how do you arm them with the information in terms of when they know a potential perpetrator?
Right. Well, I just try to make it a blanket rule that under no circumstances do you get in a car with somebody, even if you know them.
And like you said, don't worry about being polite.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't worry about being polite.
And do it over and over and over again.
Exactly.
Over and over and over.
Practice makes perfect.
Okay, thank you. Patty Fitzgerald, thank you. Robin, thank you very much.
You.
Well, you're getting applause.
Yeah.
You're getting applause.
And safelyEverAfter.com, I got to plug her website.
Go ahead.
SafelyEverAfter.com is Patty Fitzgerald's
You did
website.
it with no pressure.
I know, right? I blew it.
That was good. Thank you.
Thank you.